Hey, it's Daryl again, and this is the third part of my video examining the Auckland Light Rail proposal. In the previous video, I went over the teal route is what I could work out to be the proposed route. The orange route is a tramway that goes over the surface of the suburbs that I thought would be a better idea, and the purple lines are the existing metro trains in Auckland. Now I have one more idea to complete this whole project, and what we're going to do is this is going to be the cheapest option. This teal route tramway is a $14 billion project, and the idea of it is that perhaps it gets people to the airport faster than other ways. It won't get people to the airport faster because it's a really long way. So I actually have another suggested idea. There we go. I'll leave the ALR project line in there. So I have another alternative of how to get people to the airport. Okay, there's two things. One of the cheapest things to do, and the thing that would be best for future expansion, would be to build this yellow line. This yellow line is a train line. It's for the metro trains. The metro trains are multiple unit trains. There's 3 carriages in each train, and the trains are typically made of 3 trains connected together to make 6 or 9 car trains. There's a lot of trains that come down to Manukau. Manukau is very busy. I think there's a train every 10 minutes. But we could also build a new extension to the railway line across this. This is an industrial area in Wiri. It is an industrial area. A lot of this land's empty. This is actually empty farm. Well, it's farmland. Okay, so you can see it's a farm. So most of this area is actually undeveloped. This is an industrial area, and an industrial area could probably actually use a railway line because you might be able to load stuff onto trains and use trains instead of trucks. This mainline railway here, this is actually the main trunk railway that runs through Auckland, and this railway line goes all the way to Wellington. But if we just built a new extension railway line on the end, it could snake across this farmland, and that would leave space that if you wanted to build another suburb here, you could put 1 or 2 stations in this area, and then you could build a suburb around the stations. It's not a crazy idea. And then you could have a cross a bridge over the estuary, and then go underground over this. I don't know what that is. It looks like a quarry or something. They're leveling the ground out for some reason. I'm not quite sure. Put it in a tunnel here, go underground, curve around, and come down to the airport. And my idea is to have an underground train platform. The distance from this terminal to that terminal is about 400 meters, and you can park your train on here between the international terminal and the domestic terminal, and people could just board the train and take the next train that goes to Auckland, and the train can just leave there, go across there. That would be very fast, and then it can just go straight up through the middle of the city to the CBD, and that would be one of the cheapest things you could build to get people to the airport faster. Also, a lot of people that live over in this area commute across. That's why there's a highway that goes from the airport to the suburb here. So this highway here just gets people, all the workers from this area who work at the airport. And in this industrial area by the airport, there's basically a motorway that snakes around here and goes into this industrial area. So you can build something else. If you're just interested in building stuff for commuters and for tourists, then you build a gondola line. You just build a gondola across there. Here we go, a gondola lift, like on a ski field. You build this, and you just have it in a city. There's some cities around the world that use gondolas for public transport, including London. You might know it. It's in the United Kingdom, and also in South America, there's some cities that are kind of in difficult areas. They've got a lot of mountains, and it's hard to put in a public transport system in a mountainous thing. So they use ski field gondolas as public transport network. Now you can get quite modern ones like this. The cars can fit 8 or 12 people per car, and they go every 90 seconds. And so that's actually a really convenient public transport system, because you don't have to wait very long until the next gondola. So that would be another option. You could just build it across. It goes across this attractive estuary and farmland. It could go across into Papatowitoi, and it could go into there. There's another station here, Puhanui. It could go into there. Or you could actually build a gondola and go right across and just follow the motorway and go all the way into Manukau. And Manukau is where the Rainbow's End amusement park is. I think the Rainbow's End is just here. Here we go here. See, look, there's a roller coaster. There's a roller coaster in here. So if you built a gondola that went straight across from Manukau to Manukau railway station, it would also be a thing where tourists could go across there. I'm just saying, the thing about gondolas is they're extremely cheap. They're the cheapest transport system per kilometre, because most of the track is just a steel cable and some Meccano towers to hold it up. You can build a 5 kilometre gondola for like $200 million. They're really cheap. Not even 200 million. You could probably build it for 50 million. I think there was one they built on a ski field. It's 2 kilometers long and it cost 20 or 30 million dollars. So the gondolas can be very cheap. Okay, what else? Modern tram. There we go. This is my line. I'm putting the modern tramway. This is a surface only tramway that goes through the suburbs. Goes up here. You take it up through these suburbs. The point of it is, my modern tramway would be good for tourists, because it goes past One Tree Hill, has a station there. You can go into the park there. It goes near this Alexandra Park there. It also goes past Mount Eden, and it gets you up into the central city this way. But then it goes further, and I added on another gondola connection here. There's Point Erin Park. There's a swimming pool in there. Build another gondola. It goes straight across Auckland Harbour Bridge. I would build a tower building here. This is a tourism idea. I'd build a tower building here with a cafe and restaurant. It would be a what do you call it? Like an event centre. You might have a wedding, how to hold a wedding or a party there, or a corporate event. So I would build it there, because it has this amazing view of the harbour. At night time, you'd see all the city lights of all the high-rise buildings in the city. At daytime, you get the pretty view of the harbour. Tourists can take this gondola across here, and it goes all the way up here, where it connects to the Northern Busway. So actual commuters who are commuting from this part of the city, they can get on the tram, take the tram past Ponsonby, and then get on the gondola and continue up there, and then get on the busway. And then the gondola also continues. It continues across to Takapuna, right into Takapuna Mall. There's the Takapuna Mall building. And then you can get off the gondola at Takapuna Mall, walk through the mall, or walk up the street, and then get into this area, which is a nice beach area with lots of cafes and restaurants. That's actually something that tourists would want to do. And the cost of operating a gondola is so cheap, it just costs the same price as bus fare. So the cost of doing that, building this giant long gondola, it's pretty long, might cost $200 or $300 million, approximately half the price of the cycle lane that they wanted to build across the Auckland Harbour Bridge. What I'm saying is, the thing I want to do, it's just much cheaper. It's much cheaper than the $14 billion tunnelled tramway project. You could build, for the budget of the tramway project, you can build this rail connection around the bottom to the airport. You can build that. You can build a surface tram over the surface. You can double track the railway through Onehunga to increase the number of trains per hour there. You can build all of this thing up to here, through the middle of the city and out to Ponsonby, and you can build the gondola across to the North Shore. All of that can be done for less than $14 billion. I would wager that all of that can be done for $8 billion. You can do it for half the price, because you're not building it in a tunnel. And because you're not building it in a tunnel, you can have more stations through the suburbs, so it's actually more pragmatic. The money that you save the other half of the $14 billion, you can use to build the Dominion Road extension. You might just build it all the way down to Mount Roskill along this orange line. You might just build that on the surface straight. That would just be a simple straight line addition to this when you're building it. You build this at the same time. But you can also build a connector that goes across through these suburbs and goes across to Lynn Mall over here, which is, you know, a giant shopping mall. And that means that people can commute across this part of the city. They can take a train in and go to these lower suburbs. People in these suburbs can take the tramway to go to the Lynn Mall area. It increases the connectivity of the city. What you want to do is build things that create links between different locations. You can take this slightly odd dogleg of a train line up here and across to there. It's probably not faster than taking the train into the middle of the city and down. In fact, it won't be, because there's going to be a logical line that goes from here, crosses, and then goes back out that way. Anyway, I think that's enough. That's a lot of words. Hope you enjoyed it. What I'm trying to say is that the ALR project being built in a tunnel is the most expensive public transport thing that's going to ever be built. It won't serve that many people, and it doesn't actually solve the required aims of getting people to the airport in a practical way. It's actually just very expensive and not that practical. I guess the real conclusion is they're trying to build one project that does everything, rather than think of what's 3 or 4 small projects that we could do for the same amount of money or far less money that achieves pretty much the same goals. That's why I think they should build something different. Anyway, that's my idea. Put some comments. Write some whole paragraphs in the comments and tell me how I'm wrong and what we could do better. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.